This is Examples in Music for Module 36. We'll show examples dealing with the first three objectives having to do with the Neapolitan sixth chords, followed by examples with the latter three objectives involving the Italian augmented sixth chord. 36.1 says define and build Neapolitan sixth chords for any key. 36.2 says correctly notate the resolution of Neapolitan sixth chords in any key. And 36.3 says identify and label Neapolitan sixth chords within real music examples. The following piece by Schubert contains a Neapolitan sixth chord.
Ein treues Herz in Liebe vergeht, da welken die Lilien auf jedem Beet, da muss in die Wolken der Vollmond gehen, mit seine Tränen die Menschen nicht sehen. Da halten die Englein die Augen sich zu und schluchzen und singen die Seele zur Ruhe.
This piece is in the key of G minor. A Neapolitan sixth chord can occur in major or minor keys, but is found more often in minor keys than major ones. The Neapolitan sixth chord is a major quality chord with the lowered second scale degree as its root. The number 6 refers to the fact that the Neapolitan chord is usually found in first inversion. So in the key of G minor, the second scale degree is A. The lowered second scale degree would therefore be A flat. We're looking for an A flat major chord in first inversion. There are several of those in this piece, and the first one occurs in this measure right here. We have an A flat, C, E flat chord with C in the bass, putting it in first inversion. I'll start playing from this measure 6.
Da welken die Lilien auf jedem Beet.
The Roman numeral analysis for this augmented sixth chord would either be a flat sign with the capital letter I in the number 6, showing the lowered second in first inversion, or you could write a capital N with the number 6 by it. The Neapolitan 6 is considered a predominant chord, like the 2 chord or the 4 chord, and therefore it is usually followed by the dominant chord of the key. In G minor, we would expect a D major chord, which is the chord that follows. We see a D, F sharp, A, C chord for a dominant 7th chord. In terms of common voice leading from the Neapolitan 6th chord to the dominant chord, the lowered second scale degree usually moves to the leading tone of the overall key. In this case, the lowered second scale degree is this A flat, which is doubled in octaves, and at least one of them does move in that way, directly to an F sharp by the descending diminished third motion, F sharp being the leading tone of G minor.
Da welken die Lilien auf jedem Beet.
The Neapolitan sixth chord also appears in this measure of the piece, measure 16. You'll notice that the chord that follows is not the dominant, but the chord that follows that is the dominant. D, F sharp, A. This A flat of the Neapolitan sixth chord, the lowered second scale degree, still moves to the leading tone of the key, but does so by way of passing tone, going from the A flat to the G to the F sharp. I'm going to play from right here and listen to how that sounds.
Wolken der Vollmond gehen, dann mit seine Tränen die Menschen nicht sehen. Da halten die Englein.
This is another common voice leading method, moving from the Neapolitan sixth chord to the dominant chord. A passing tone takes this voice from the lowered second to the leading tone of the key, and the overall harmony of this chord could either be a cadential 6/4 or a secondary leading tone chord. In this case, we do have a secondary leading tone 7th chord of 5. We would label this in Roman numerals as lowercase VII with the little diminished sign and the number 7 / capital V. this C sharp, E, G, B flat chord is the leading tone chord of D, therefore making it the applied chord.
Wolken der Vollmond ging, damit seine Tränen die Menschen nicht sehen.
This is a familiar piece by Beethoven. We're going to skip ahead, and I would like you to notice this chord as we approach it. So here is the chord that we were talking about right here. This piece is in the key of C sharp minor. D sharp is the second scale degree, so the lowered second scale degree is D natural. The Neapolitan 6 chord we would be looking for would therefore be a D major triad in first inversion. And that's what this is. We have D natural, F sharp, A natural in first inversion. This is the N6 chord. As a predominant functioning chord, we would expect it to be followed by the dominant in C sharp minor, which is G sharp major. And here we see we have G sharp, B sharp, the D sharp, the fifth is omitted, and we do have an F sharp making this a seventh chord. Voice leading wise, we expect the lowered second scale degree, the D here, to end up going to the leading tone of the key, in this case which would be a B sharp, which is what it does. The Roman numerals for this overall section starting in the chord prior to the N6 is a minor 1, then the Neapolitan 6 chord, then dominant 7, then minor 1. Here's another piece by Beethoven. This piece is in the key of A minor. Second scale degree is a B natural. The lowered second scale degree would be a B flat. Therefore, if we're looking for Neapolitan 6s, we would expect a B flat major triad in first inversion. That occurs in this measure, in this measure, in this measure, and in this measure. As a predominant functioning chord, we expect the chord to follow to be the dominant. In the key of A minor, that would be an E major triad or seventh chord. In the case of the voice leading of this first N6 chord to the dominant, we have the lowered second scale degree here moving to the leading tone of the key by way of a passing tone. I'll play that one more time. Here, the lowered second scale degree moves more directly to the leading tone by way of descending third. The dominant chord is then followed by the minor 1 chord. We'll start from right here. 36.4 says define and build Italian augmented 6 chords for any key. 36.5 says correctly notate the resolution of Italian augmented 6 chords in any key. And 36.6 says identify and label Italian augmented 6 chords within real music examples. This piece is from the Handel Messiah, and the Italian augmented 6 chord occurs right here. Augmented 6 chords are different than Neapolitan 6 chords, as the number 6 now refers to that there is now an augmented sixth within that chord, not that the chord is necessarily in first inversion. The augmented 6 is formed by the presence of the 6th scale degree as lay and the 4th scale degree as fi, or what some people call the lowered 6th scale degree and the raised 4th scale degree. The Italian augmented 6 has these two scale degrees as well as the tonic scale degree do of the key. This piece is in the key of A minor. The solfege syllable lay in that key would be an F natural, which is here. The solfege syllable fi would be the pitch D sharp, which is here. And the solfege syllable do would be the A, which is here. We also see a B, which is an embellishing tone as a passing tone from this A to this C. Augmented 6 chords also function as predominant chords, their way of intensifying the dominant chord that follows. In terms of voice leading from an Italian augmented 6 chord to the following dominant chord, the raised 4th scale degree usually moves up by step to the 5th scale degree, and the lowered 6th scale degree usually moves down by step also to the 5th scale degree, thereby doubling the 5th scale degree. The dominant in the key of A minor is E major. We're looking for an E major triad, which we do have, E, G sharp, B, and we make it there by way of a cadential 6/4. Notice that this entire measure feels like the dominant, but the initial notes of that measure are from the one chord A, C, E in second inversion, and these two inner voices move down by step to give us the E, G sharp, B dominant chord. For some extra embellishment, Handel includes the lower neighbor and then back to the dominant functioning pitches. Let's listen to this again, and notice how the Italian augmented 6 chord intensifies the dominant chord that follows, as well as the presence of the cadential 6/4. This is another example of the Italian augmented 6 in this piece by Schubert. The Italian augmented 6 chord occurs very quickly right here. This piece is in the key of G minor. Therefore, the 6th scale degree lay that we're looking for is E flat, which is right here. The raised 4th scale degree fi is C sharp, which we see in two spots here, doubled. And do, the tonic of the key, is G, which is right here. All the elements of an Italian augmented 6th. We expect the augmented 6 intervals to resolve outward by step. Lowered 6 goes to 5. Raised 4 goes up to 5. And the resulting chord is the dominant chord, D, F sharp. In this case, the A is omitted. Let's play that again. Here's an example by Mozart that features an Italian augmented sixth on this chord right here. This piece is in the key of D minor. The lowered 6th scale degree would be a B flat, which is right here. The raised 4th scale degree would be a G sharp, which is right there. And the tonic of the key would be the D, which is here and here, giving us an Italian augmented 6th chord. That chord intensifies the dominant that follows, of which we expect to be an A, C sharp, E chord, which is here, which is A, C sharp, and E. It's a little difficult to see, but the notes immediately following that is an F natural and a D up here, providing us with a cadential 6/4. Let's listen to that one more time.